Decades after the hit series Cheers came to an end in 1993, people are still spreading rumors about how much the cast of the series hated each other. Most of these rumors stem from the stories of original cast member Shelley Long and her relationship with her coworkers before leaving the series after its 5th season. One of the big reasons she chose to leave was professional jealousy over co-stars Ted Danson and Kelsey, the latter of whom she felt was eating up her lines. Join Facts First as Shelley Long's true feelings about the Cheers cast are finally confirmed. Shelley Long hated everybody on the set of Cheers. Although Kelsey remains one of the more memorable and beloved former cast members of Cheers, he wasn't introduced until the 3rd season, and his introduction wasn't met with open arms by one of its previous biggest stars. Before he joined the show, the main conflict of Cheers had been the romantic relationship of Ted Danson's Sam Malone and Shelley Long's Diane Chambers. Kelsey Grammer's character of Frasier Crane was introduced as a temporary third point in a romantic triangle. After 2 seasons, producers decided Sam and Diane's romance could no longer carry the series on its own. Legend suggests that producers only meant to bring Kelsey on to Cheers for 3 episodes, but he ended up staying over the course of the remaining run. When all was said and done, Kelsey appeared on more seasons of Cheers than Shelley Long did. The original romantic premise was simple, with Shelley Long's character being prim, proper, and educated, while Ted Danson's character was the opposite. Frasier Crane was written to be more like Diane. This was all well and good until Shelley Long started getting jealous that Frasier was getting lines that could have gone to her instead. Before that, Shelley was already dealing with a good deal of professional jealousy due to the fact that Ted Danson seemed to be the true star of the series. Though she played his main romantic interest, she felt like she was always a side note to her male co-star. When another male co-star was brought in who was much more in line with her character personality-wise, this issue became even more dire. As soon as Kelsey was brought on, Shelley began to complain to the producers. Frasier was given a bigger role to piss Shelley off. The producers had already had negative experiences with Shelley Long by the time Kelsey was introduced to Cheers. Some suggest that the producers saw how much Kelsey Grammer's presence bothered her and decided to make him a regular on the program out of spite. Shelley herself has put forward this theory, though both writers and producers have denied it. The writers of the show have claimed that Kelsey simply did such a great job with the material that they wanted to keep him on. Of course, Shelley Long feels the material he was doing such a great job with was hers. Shelley had her issues with other cast members, but she grew to despise Kelsey most of all. This came from professional jealousy more than on-set behavior, though it seems Kelsey got pretty tired of Shelley's issues with him behind the scenes. Shelley had few friends on the set of Cheers by the time she decided to quit the program after the 5th season. She ended up coming back for the show's finale. That aired in 1993. She reprised the role of Diane Chambers for the Cheers finale and also returned to reprise it for an episode of the spin-off series Frasier. Given the history of Shelley Long and Kelsey Grammer, this guest appearance came as a pleasant surprise for fans of both series. Before we tell you more, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Shelley's appearance on Frasier. Diane Chambers showing up on Frasier was meant to mark the end of Shelley Long and Kelsey Grammer's long-standing feud. But the two still haven't held back in the ensuing years about how things went down back on the set of Cheers. Regardless of the real reason Kelsey Grammer was promoted to regular cast member status, there were numerous reasons Shelley decided to leave the show. While she had never had an easy time getting along with anyone on the set and had always dealt with professional jealousy, the main reason for her quitting the show was so she could try to start a film career. She was also never really that fond of her character on the series. According to Shelley, both her fellow cast members and audience members began to think the actress was more like the character of Diane than she actually was. Shelley says this is the reason so many members of the cast and crew didn't get along with her. She thinks they simply assumed that she was like Diane and never actually took the time to get to know her. Shelley also didn't like the way that audiences viewed her, and she wanted to shift her image on the big screen. Her final episode before the series finale was the last episode of the 5th season. This premiered on May 7, 1987. The show's writers and producers spent a lot of time considering how best to write Diane off the program. 3 separate endings of the show were filmed in an effort to keep the secrets of the highly anticipated episode under wraps. Shelley Long's departure episode was a big secret. Shelley Long's departure saw Diane Chambers leave to go finish work on a manuscript that had been submitted to publishers without her knowledge by a former professor and lover. The existence of this character was a callback to Cheers' very first episode, where this man stood up Diane Chambers so he could return to his ex-wife. This new opportunity was announced just as the characters of Diane Chambers and Sam Malone were prepping to get married. Diane ended up calling the wedding off to go work on her manuscript at Sam's insistence. The following season, Kirstie Alley was brought onto the show to fill the void left in Shelley Long's wake. Meanwhile, Shelley tried her hand at film work. Though fans of Cheers were satisfied with the ending of Diane's arc, they held plenty of ill will against Shelley Long for abandoning the show that had made her a star. She had come on to Cheers a relative nobody, and the program had turned her into a household name. After leaving Cheers behind, she attempted to use that goodwill to start up a film career. But it seems many fans weren't willing to follow Shelley to the big screen. The same year Cheers premiered, Shelley could be seen in the Ron Howard-directed film Night Shift, but she put her fledgling film career by the wayside to focus on the successful show. After leaving Cheers, she tried to translate her superstardom to equal success in cinemas. Sadly, she didn't end up being very successful in this. Still, she has appeared in several films over the course of her career. Shelley's long, disappointing film career. Shortly before leaving Cheers, she appeared alongside Tom Hanks in the 1986 comedy The Money Pit. This film was a success, and this success was a big part of what gave Shelley the confidence to finally abandon Cheers after the 5th season. Sadly, the success of Money Pit was more emblematic of Tom Hanks's future film career than Shelley's. Shelley's greatest cinematic accomplishment is arguably her pitch-perfect impersonation of matriarch Carol Brady in the pair of 1990s comedies The Brady Bunch Movie and A Very Brady Sequel. The movie often credited with destroying Shelley Long's leading lady prospects is 1989's Troop Beverly Hills, which was a box office bomb. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Shelley Long on Cheers? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. By the way, if you haven't joined Facts First as a member yet, be sure to look below this video and click the join button. By becoming a paid member of Facts First, you'll get access to exclusive video content that you won't find anywhere else. This includes some of our more mature content that isn't suitable for public audiences, which includes topics like Hollywood actresses who posed for Playboy and some of the steamiest moments in movie history. Plus, you can enjoy these videos completely ad-free. Our biggest fans will notice they also get badges next to their name when they leave comments on our videos. We pay special attention to comments from our members, and so do other viewers. So if you want exclusive content from Facts First or inside access to discussions with other community members, click the join button to get started for just $4.99.